Hello everybody, it's Lady Shatana, and welcome back to another one of my Getting Started with Minecolonies videos. Today we are continuing on our journey with the Hive style, and we are going to be using this kind of colony area that we started on the first part and utilizing some of the bits and pieces and parts that we talked about on the second part. And hopefully that will get you on your way with making the most beautiful colony in existence. So, as you can see, things are pretty fancy in here. I bumped the bits that we had already made up to level 5 just so that by the end of this we can see what a complete colony looks like. We've got our town hall in place. We've got a builder's hut, so you'll actually be able to build things. Downstairs we had a tavern. As you can see, we have visitors running around all over the place, and we did add in, or I have added in a guard tower just to show you the idea of running things up on this second level and leaving some availability on the bottom level for us to use. So what we're going to do is, as we talked about on those previous videos, we've got this really cool system with the river here, the river cavern, where it would make the most sense to move a bunch of colony this way under the overhang. So in order to do that, because currently the colony runs this way, we need to use something to switch it to this way. And we will be using one of the new converter pieces that have been added to the style pack. So as always, we're going to use our handy dandy builder's tool. We're going to do a click and we're going to select the correct piece. And in this case, we're going to be using the infrastructure, roads, and the converter A1. The B1 does pretty much the same thing, it's just a little bit bigger. And we're gonna flip this around here, take a look, and line it up. So we're going to move up here and like that. Now this is the level 1. When you take a look at this one, as you increase, oops, let's actually move right here. As you increase 2, 3, 4, and 5, it gets gradually fancier and matching up with the rest of the colony. I'm going to do something interesting with this piece here. I'm actually going to select level 4, so it will be as though you had your builder build everything up to level 4. So we're going to pretend that he did that, and we're going to do something here because of the location of this piece in the colony. So we're going to go ahead and pretend that our builder did construct that. We now have this piece which is taking the direction of the colony building this way. And what we're going to do is, because of where this is going to be right on the very outside of the colony, and I don't want to block off all these really great views and everything we have. So I have discovered that the light gray stained glass looks quite nice with the acacia and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out some of these pieces, and I'm going to replace them with the glass. And we're just gonna run over and we're gonna do some of these. So you can do this obviously at the earlier levels, or you could even put down just a level 1 and switch out all of these exterior pieces yourself. With the way that all the acacia wood comes in at level 4, I found it easiest to just upgrade it to 4 and then make these changes myself. So as you can see, just by adding that glass there and giving it that extra bit of visibility, it really makes a difference in this space. So this is going to do a couple of things. When you come running out this door and you'd be like, oh right, this is my observation area and I know what I've got over in this part of the colony, and it looks really nice on the outside too. So that's just an idea that you can do, utilizing these infrastructure pieces and then adding in some glass and stuff to really keep the views and things like that. Because unless you're, you know, building in a very boring place, in which case you wouldn't worry about that. So that's the first thing. Okay, so the next thing is one of the things that you definitely need to build early on is the university, because so many different things in the colony are dependent on university researches. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring our university into this spot here. Now, if we take a look, the university is sort of a double, I almost call it a double wide kind of a piece, and we need to be very aware of what's going on over here so that it doesn't overtake another piece of the colony that's already existing. So it should be okay, but we're going to double check it. I'm actually going to, for this video, place everything at level 5 again so that we can you know, see what it looks like when it's done. We can see that this is now overlapping by that one block, and the doors and floors are lined up. So we can see here that it's lining up on that wall. You can sort of see how it's lighter with that ghosting. The ghosting preview, and over here when we take a look, we don't have anything that is infringing. We can see that this space is a little bit funny, so when we're done, what we'll do is we'll just fill this in to connect these two doorways, so that you don't have people falling down and doing crazy things. So we're going to do that. We're going to place that university right there. We're going to pretend that we had our builder do all the hard work, and we're going to run over here and take a look at what our next kind of area is. So that's brought that colony you know, quite far along this bit, which is really kind of cool. So the next thing that we're going to do, now we talked about those intersection pieces, which are going to help you just sort of spread your colony out a bit and keep track of you know, different districts and things like that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use one of those. So let's pull it up into the infrastructure, roads, and the road intersection. And let's take a look at this. Now, because we're almost to the wall here, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to bring now this one. So, okay, we're gonna bring it so it's further over that way, so we can move the colony out that way. But the intersection is one of the pieces where level 1 has the floors, and level 2 through 5 only upgrade the walls. So in order for us to put this in, we are going to have to kind of do it the old-fashioned way. So we're going to place in the level 1 so that we get those floors. I'm going to pretend that our builder went and built that. And then I'm actually going to place it again at level 5. Normally you wouldn't do this, you would just have your builder go ahead and do the upgrades properly. But yeah, we're going to do that just to get those floors and that in. Now, of course, when you're building properly, you're not going to have all of your torches fall off. Everything will be as it should be. But there we go. Okay, so now when we take a look, and as I said, you know, early on in this series, you're going to do a lot of running outside and taking a look and making sure that everything is where it should be. So it looks really cool. As I said, this overhang that this terrain generation with these mods does is really awesome. Though you can find places like this in, you know, mostly vanilla worlds as well. So using an overhang like this is just so neat for Hive, definitely. Alright, so we now have this this intersection, which is going to you know, be instrumental in us being able to do things like add all the signs and let us know where we are and where we're going and what's in this direction and what's in that direction. And then you can decorate you know, based on what huts that you have coming up and that sort of thing. So definitely you want to use these intersections. You want to use them kind of all over the place in order to make your colony not super confusing. So what we're going to do next is we're going to add in Now I'm just going to throw a barracks in here just to show you something really interesting you can do with the terrain that we've got here. So I'm going to, now obviously you will have had to research that and do all the things in order to be able to build the barracks, but yeah, we're going to pretend we've done all that at this point. So so again, this is another one of those ones where it's really important to preview everything at level 5, because in the barracks at level 1 it looks like you have a door here, but it gets filled in at level 2, and that is because this section of the barracks on top, they've got the academies on top. So the archery and the combat academy actually fill up those spaces. So yeah, so we're taking a look at level 5. So we'll be using one of these other doors to line things up, right, like that, I think. Now let's go outside and take a look at what we've got. Alright, so we've got something really kind of cool happening here. Because of where we placed the supply camp above the water, we actually have our barracks. If we place it with this being the top level, we can have this sitting on the water. Now this actually just happened. It was a happy little accident that that did happen for me, but once you've played for a while and you start to kind of like you know, plan things out in advance, this is something that that you can make sure happens, not just by accident. But even if it was like 1 or 2 above the water, you could still do what I'm going to be showing you here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to construct that. And so now what we've got is there aren't really any entrances from the outside into the colony right now that I've built, and you will have probably put some temporary, like some maybe temporary stairs or something into one of the areas to get in and out of the colony. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into entrances into the colony. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that anything on these, like the exterior walls inwards, anytime you do an upgrade or anything like that, the builder is going to overwrite it. So if you're going to do something interesting, you definitely want to bear that in mind and build outside of that that build area, or in spots where the whole thing is full of placeholders. So what I would do is you're going to come here, and this is going to be just a temporary sort of thing, just so I can show you what I'm talking about. But I've added this this line under here, and now I'm going to add a sort of a little I don't know what you would call a little dock, a little deck kind of thing right here. And I'm going to build another frame to the doorway right here, like this. And let's do it. Yeah, let's do it like that. That's fine. Actually, I'm going to do it straight across like that. Okay, so this extra doorway is not going to be touched anytime that the main hut itself gets upgraded. And I'm actually going to make it one larger, and you'll see why in a moment. Okay, so we have this way to come in, so if you're boating around, you can put your boat right here. And when you get to the higher levels and you have yourself the mechanic, you can get the mechanic to build the gates. So the wooden gate, I think that's one of the first ones you can have them do, and then the iron gates. What you can do is you can get the mechanic to make you some and add gates right here. So you can do that on either end of this, and you can, you know, add whatever other decoration you want like that. But this is a really interesting way to set up an extra entry into your colony. So that's just one idea that you can do. You'd probably add some lights out here and that sort of thing. Now with this, you could build a you know, like a sort of a frame around the outside, and you could close this up entirely. Like if you closed this up normally, it might get overwritten and opened back up at every at every increase. So you can think about how you want to deal with that. Or and a thought that I did have that I thought was really quite interesting is doing something using maybe some slabs or something. Again, this is just to give you some sort of ideas. Again, starting that that bit on the bottom so you can get started, and maybe building something like a frame around the outside, or not a frame, but like a walkway, and putting some fences or something along that, and leaving the doors open so that, you know, like your archers and things can maybe run around on the outside and see anybody that's coming. So I don't know how well it actually works, but it's something maybe worth trying. Could look really nice. So think about doing things like that when you're using the environment that you're building in. So that's that. Now, again, when we're running around to the back here, this is where we've got our tavern is, yeah, the tavern. So because we built this this direction on this corner, we do have the ability to build more things out here. Maybe you'd want to build a residence or something like that. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back over here, and when you have just the first few, it's kind of easy to remember what's where. But we've got this bit here. You're going to end up probably doing, depending on where you're building, unless you're building like in a sky colony kind of idea where everything is you know, really open. You personally are going to do quite a bit of clearing bits out so you can actually see the huts that you're putting in next. But again, it completely depends on the area that you're building. So what we're going to do in this bit is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the Atrium, which is the double tall intersection. And I'm going to do that because I just think it would look really nice, and it would give us a good base of building on 2 levels here. Now, if you build on the 2 levels, obviously you're going to have to keep much closer track of what is where. If you want to go really simple without having to think vertically, I guess, you could just take this is your main level, and everything you build is just based on this main level. And if a hut is 2 stories tall, it will either be up or down. But if you only ever build based on the 1 level, you won't accidentally overwrite yourself. It's when you start getting into where you're building, you know, consciously on the 2 levels, and when you're building on 3 or 4 levels, you have to be really aware of where all the huts are. So I'm going to, so again, this is one where the floor comes in at level 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5 only do the upgrades. So we're going to add, so now again, before you actually click yes and click OK, you're going to take a look and you're going to make sure nothing's being overwritten over here. And we know, but it's always good to check, that there were no huts on this side yet. And you want to sort of take a look at, you know, where it's going to be going. So you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna spend a lot of time running outside and just making sure that everything is where it should be. And doing this atrium thing again, where we had the ability to work kind of sideways, this is going to connect to these 2 doors, and it's going to give us this ability to work sideways in the colony. So let's go ahead. We're going to pretend the worker or the builder did all the work. We're going to construct that level 1, and then I'm going to pop that level 5 in there just to get those nice walls in place. And again, when you're doing it the proper way, you are not going to knock off all of your torches. So yeah, I like this this piece of infrastructure. I think it gives kind of a nice open area, which looks really, really nice, and gives you a little break from the kind of cozy, smushy feeling that you get with something like Hive, where everything is underground and quite small. So definitely having these extra bits that come in and do this can be really, really good. These nice kind of open areas. So again, you're going to put in all of your various signs and your various decorations and things like that that are going to help you keep track of kind of what district you're coming into as you move through your colony, and it will help prevent you getting very, very lost, which is very, very easy to do in the Hive setup. So other than that, like again, it's just putting in the you know, whatever huts you're gonna do and working through your normal Minecolonies process of doing that. But you know, again, depending on what I'm doing, if I wanted to keep if I was going to keep this area open and not actually build any huts there, I would probably, you know, once I got this all finished, I would, you know, like open up some of these walls, and I would put in the glass so I can see the area that I've got going on around here, because you kind of want to enjoy the things that you have happening. You don't necessarily want to completely close off the world. Even with Cavern, I would often do that. If I had a really nice, you know, lush cave or something like that, I might build in such a way that I open up accesses into that lush cave for viewing, because I like to be able to see what's around me. So keep that in mind, that you can do that sort of thing. You know, if you're only partially upgraded at this point, obviously this is going to be changed when you do upgrade, but you can also always pop it in again. So keep that in mind when you're doing that sort of thing. The only other thing we're going to have a quick talk about is the stairway, the simple stair, and an idea that you can use that for maybe your farming area or something like that. So on this side, we've got everything is coming into the sort of the cavern wall, and you really do want to have a lot of space dedicated to your sort of farming and herding area if you're going to be doing everything in the Hive style itself. So what you'd probably want to do is something like, and we're just gonna, wouldn't necessarily put it here, but we're gonna put it here just for demonstration's sake. The utility cells. So we're gonna pick this stair cell, and sometimes if it doesn't come up, it's still sitting over in the last place that you previewed, so just pull it up again and you'll be able to get it in the right spot. Alright, so we're going to pull this stair cell, and we did take a good look at it in the part 2 here, so you know that it is has the hole in the floor that you'll be able to fill that in, and it will stay filled, and it just sets up to be able to move up to the next level. And this is one where the floor does stay right up to the level 5, so we're going to pretend that we had our builder go ahead and do this. We're going to place it in place. Now obviously, now that we have a level 1, we're going to want to continue going up in this case. So this is one of the things where I was saying before, you are going to do quite a bit of work to clear some things out so that you can actually see what's the next hut or piece of infrastructure or something that you're going to build. So you're going to be spending quite a bit of time clearing things out, because otherwise you won't be able to get things lined up properly. So I'm just going to open this up just the tiniest little bit right here. Obviously you'd be quite careful to make sure you don't accidentally break an existing wall or something like that. Of course, if you do that when you're building building or repairing or whatever, you'll be able to sort that out. Okay, so we are, yeah, as you can see, I did actually break one of the pieces that should be there. Okay, so yeah, so if we open that up a bit, we're going to do that, and right like this, we're going to add the next level of this stair. So this one, it's kind of funny to line up. Let's see where we're at. We're on the inside. We want, so these ones don't overlap the floor. They sit on top of each other. We need, there we go. So we've got the hole in the floor, and that is going to be lining up, and then you're going to line up the walls. Let's see, we got to make sure we get this right. Line up the walls and make sure that the floor is lined up. So right now we have it overlapped, and that is just so that we can make sure that these walls, oops, are doing what they need to do. See, we've now gone way too far. Okay, let's bring this down. So what I'm going to do is I can see that there we go. Okay, so the door is lined up, and then we have this whole thing happening. So I'm going to move this up now so it's not overlapping, so that it's actually one on top of the next. And this should have us lined up correctly. So let's put that in at level 5. Is that? Yeah. So this one, it's going to probably take some a bit of practice to get this lined up and to get it working the first couple of times, because this particular piece is quite finicky. I may go back and add a double floor version of this so that there's actually two stacked on top of each other. It's something that I may do in the future. So I would probably do glass slabs, maybe through the DO cutter or something like that, just so I can see down there, because I enjoy doing that sort of thing. But so now you have this this here. Now, one of the things, unfortunately, with the rotating around of this piece, sometimes the controller will end up sitting in the wrong spot, so that is an unfortunate thing to be aware of. But this is how you're gonna stack them. So I would probably stack 2 or 3, and then I would run my my fields out into the mountain side there. But you know, it's again, it's entirely up to you. Depends on how the space that you have is going to work. But you may want to, as I said in I can't remember if it was part 1 or part 2. Fields are very difficult to do underground, and it probably would be a better idea to utilize the actual outside and combine this with another style for that. But hopefully this has helped you with ideas of how to actually lay everything out. And the final bit is the decoration of the other bits of the colony. So I'm going to show you in the decorations. There's the miscellaneous and all these bottom cell pieces. So this, I happen to know I'm under the converter 1 piece right now, so I'm going to select that decoration, and it is going to, let's see which direction this one goes. It will place just like that underneath. It doesn't put anything on the outer edge of the cell, but it will cover up that entire bottom part and make it look more like the bottom of a beehive. we're going to go ahead and place that constructed. It does use a bit of glowstone, so you won't be placing these until you're into the end, but just putting that on there really kind of finishes the look of the hive. There are some single cell ones that we did look at, where is it, the cell bottom, which are a bit fancier, and you can intersperse those if you wanted to as well. But just looking at the difference between this being finished and this being unfinished, it's a pretty big difference. So, but this is something that's going to be more late game of putting these in. I think this one is a 5 cell. Yeah, so this is sort of a more late game thing when you're just getting everything all fancied up, when you have more of your colony actually finished. So let's do this and that. Oops. Get that lined up there. Is that right? Oh god, no, I'm not even close. I'm not even close. There we go. That's much closer. But yeah, you're going to you know, as I said, you're going to put these in, and it's going to make a big difference with the finishing up of how your colony looks. So that's kind of the end of my various tips and tricks and thoughts. I think Hive is such a cool design. It's the fact that Aravan originally built this in about a 2-week period is amazing, and that people still love it, and I am so thrilled that she trusted me with her vision to be able to revamp it a little bit and to add some pieces and look after it for her while she's away. And with that, we are going to finish this up. So I'm going to say that I hope that you are having an absolutely fantastic day, and that we see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.